Hi folks, this is Karim here from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Red Alert lab. This is the video number 110. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working now for 21 videos on discussing how to protect yourself against cybersecurity attacks through the documentation of the Center for Internet Security Organization. This documentation is called Critical Security Controls version 8. So to protect yourself against cybersecurity attacks based on this documentation, you have to implement 18 points. We have discussed until now 12 points. These points in brief, okay, so I'm just revising the points so you can be all to have a quick recap about what we are talking about, just to make sure that you are all in line with me, because there is a lot of points, so maybe you will get lost. Okay, so let's see a little bit of a revise about these points. So the first point is to have an inventory and control of your enterprise assets hardware. This is the first point. The second point is to have an inventory and control of your enterprise assets software. The third point is to have data protection, to protect your data in rest and in transit. The fourth point is to secure the configuration of your enterprise assets hardware and software. The fifth point is to have an account management system, how to manage your accounts within your network or within your environment. Accounts includes everything: Active Directory, application accounts, and every system that through it or to access it you need to create an account. Okay, so this is the fifth point. The sixth point is to access control management, to have established and a good system to control access to the resources within your network. Okay, this is basically what permissions you give to what accounts, okay, in your network environment. Okay, the seventh point is to continuously have a scan for your vulnerabilities, or to have a continuous vulnerability management system. You need to have a system to automatically scan for vulnerabilities within your different devices and different operating systems, a system to fix these vulnerabilities in a certain time. So it's a system to scan, fix and document your vulnerabilities. Okay, continuously vulnerability management. The eighth point is to have an audit log management, to have a system to collect logs from different devices, not only to collect the logs, to collect, save and analyze these logs. Okay, so this is the number 8 point, because the logs is a way to analyze your environment, maybe for hackers attack, or maybe for different or for troubleshooting purposes. Okay, the ninth point is to have an email and browser protection. We have said before that the weakest applications are in your environment or your network are the applications facing the internet, because there is a large probability that they can be hacked because they are facing the internet. So any application facing the internet, you need to secure them carefully, or to focus on the security issue concerning these applications. So we need to protect our email and our browsers from hacking, or because through these applications our network security can be compromised. Okay, so this is the ninth point. The 10th point is to have a malware defense, to have a good system for viruses and malware detection and defense against these kinds of viruses and malwares. You need to have a good system to protect yourself against viruses and malwares. Okay, this by applying a good software or a good antivirus software and a good anti-malware system or a program, and to use behavioral based anti-malware software and behavioral based antivirus software, to use the behavioral approach to scan for viruses and malwares, and to use this approach to quarantine or to block unknown viruses and malware, especially if the software or the antivirus or the anti-malware doesn't have a cure or doesn't have a fix for the virus or for the malware. Okay, so the 11th point is to have data protection, or sorry, data recovery. This, you need to have a plan to recover your data, or to have a general plan for disaster recovery. So you need to have a good and detailed plan for disaster recovery, and one of the disaster recoveries is to recover your data, or one of the disasters scenarios is to lose your data. So we need to have, through our disaster recovery plan, how to recover our data. Okay, the 12 points is to have network infrastructure management. We need to have a good system to control our network infrastructure. Our network infrastructure means that we need to have a system to control our switches, to control our routers, to control our access points, to control our firewalls. We need to have a system to centrally manage all of this network infrastructure, because this is the core of the network. We need to connect to them securely. We need to update their firmware. We need to connect to them remotely through a VPN if you are connecting outside your network. A lot of things, actually. So this is the 12 points. Today we will talk about point number 13, which is network monitoring and defense. Okay, so let's see a little bit of a brief about this point. This point talks about, let's go there. So point number 13, okay, talks about network monitoring and defense. Operate processes and tooling to establish and maintain comprehensive network monitoring and defense against security threats across the enterprise network infrastructure and user base. So you need to have a way to monitor the traffic, or the network traffic, between your servers and your workstations, and between your workstations and the servers, or between your workstations and the internet, or the outside activities by accessing the internet. So you need to have a way to monitor the network traffic within your network. This will be done basically through applying intrusion detection systems or intrusion prevention systems. So you need to have a special software to monitor the traffic within your network internally, and to monitor traffic outside your network, okay, through the internet. So maybe there is a PC communicating with a website, so you need to have a way to monitor the traffic between the PC and the website. And actually there is a lot of mechanisms that you can use to monitor traffic in general, and to monitor also the activity on the user end. So there is some softwares that can monitor the activity within a PC. So for example, maybe there is a malware that's trying to hack your system, or for example, there is a malware that was installed on your PC and is trying to change your system setting. So if you have an intrusion detection system on your PC, it can detect this activity and block this malware. It works in conjunction with the antivirus and anti-malware operating system, or anti-malware applications. By the way, most of the antiviruses and anti-malware include an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. So for example, McAfee, it's a known antivirus product. It contains an intrusion detection system. Okay, so you can purchase an antivirus and anti-malware, and at the same time it's an intrusion detection system, okay, and intrusion prevention. So the first, or we focus on 3 points here to network monitor and defense. To monitor your network, you will use an intrusion detection systems on your hosts or your end points or your end devices, and to use intrusion prevention system to monitor the traffic within your network, or to monitor the network traffic between all of your devices. So you have two systems, one installed on the end devices and one installed behind the firewall. This system, its main focus is to monitor the traffic entering your network and getting out of your network, okay? And by the way, most of the firewalls include an intrusion prevention system. So the firewall can act as an intrusion prevention system. So again, there is 3 things through it you can control your network and monitor it carefully: to have an intrusion detection system, to have an intrusion prevention system, and to have a security information. Let me see, to have something called SIEM. What is an SIEM? SIEM, it's, let me show you all. So let me show you what is SIEM. So you need to have a system, SIEM. So SIEM, it's security information and event management. So you need to have a system, okay, to collect the logs from different devices and to analyze these logs, okay, and to analyze them and get if there is any suspicious activities and to take an action to do this. So there is some softwares that can do this, okay. So for example, Microsoft Sentinel, it's a software. It's not only collect the logs and analyze the logs, okay, from different devices within your network, but it takes action. So for example, if the analyzed logs contains any suspicious activity, maybe for example it will shut down the firewall, or maybe it will do something, okay, it will take an action. So you can configure this system. If a certain log contains a certain suspicious activity, then it should take an action. Okay, actually most of the SIEM systems only analyze the logs, okay, and send emails or something to the administrator. But to take an action, this is another system. But anyway, you need to control the traffic within your network, or to monitor your network traffic, or to have a network monitoring system. This should be done using three tools: intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, and to have a SIEM, or security information and event management system. Okay, so this is one thing. We need to have these tools, okay. To have an intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system, this is installed by default on the firewall, okay, your firewall. And most of the antiviruses products contains also an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. So you can have both, one on the firewall and one on the host. One on the firewall to monitor the traffic getting in and out of your network, and one on the host to monitor the activities, or the activity on the host itself, okay. The activities happened within the system of the host. For example, if there is a malware trying to change the setting of the operating system to hack it, then an intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system can monitor these activities and block it, okay. As for the intrusion prevention system, it will monitor the traffic as a whole between all of the devices in your network. So an intrusion detection system can monitor, or especially a host intrusion detection system, can monitor the activity within a host. But for a network intrusion system or a network intrusion prevention system, it will monitor the traffic within all of the network. Don't worry, I will show you all what is the difference between intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, and what's the difference between host intrusion detection system and host intrusion prevention system, and network intrusion detection system and network intrusion prevention system. There is a lot of or maybe you are confused between what is a detection system and what is a prevention system, what is a host detection system and what is a host prevention system, and what is a network detection system and what is a network prevention system. Okay, so let's see what this control says. So let's go and see what it's talking about. So here we can see, or let me make it more clear here. So if you need to have a good network monitoring and defense system, you need to have a centralized security event alerting. Centralized security event alerting across enterprise assets for log correction and analyze. Best practice implementation requires the use of SIEM. So you need to have a system or a server that its main job is to collect logs from different devices and to analyze these logs for suspicious activity and alert the administrator for these activities to take actions. So this is what we mean by applying an SIEM system. Okay, So this is the first thing, or to have a centralized security event log. This was discussed in point number 8, I think, for audit log management. Okay, so audit logs also is collected through the SIEM. Okay, so to have a good SIEM system to collect security logs and to collect audit logs. Okay, this is first thing. The second thing is to deploy a host-based intrusion detection system. So you need to have a system installed on the PC to detect intrusions or to detect hacks. Okay, intrusion here you mean by hacking. Okay, so a host intrusion detection system, it is the system installed on the PC or end devices like a PC to monitor the activity on this PC, any suspicious activity, to detect it and alert the administrator. Its only purpose is to detect, okay, intrusions on the host, okay, not to prevent it. It only detect the intrusion on the host and then send an email or alert the administrator. This is the first thing, to have a host-based intrusion detection solution. The third point is to deploy a network intrusion detection system. So a host-based intrusion detection system monitors the activity on the host. As for the network intrusion detection system, it monitors the activity or the network traffic between the different devices. So it doesn't monitor the activity on the host or on the PC, but it monitors the activity or the network activity between different PCs and different servers and different network devices. And if there is any suspicious activity within this network traffic, it will block it. Okay, this is mainly installed on the firewall. So the firewall is the only device that can monitor the network traffic between your devices internally and between your devices and the outside network or the internet. So by the way, most of, as I said before, the firewalls contains a network intrusion detection system and the network intrusion prevention system. Okay, so what is the difference between intrusion detection and intrusion prevention? Intrusion detection, it detects the suspicious activity and alert the administrator. Intrusion prevention, it detects the activity and takes an action. Okay, so for example, if there is suspicious activity on a host that has a host intrusion prevention system, then this activity will be monitored and it will be blocked, and also the administrator will be informed. Detection, it only detects the activity and inform the administrator and leave the decision for him. Okay, so this is point number 3. Point number 4 is to perform traffic filtering between network segments. Okay, so you need to make a segmentation for your network to make VLANs to filter traffic between different devices or different servers. So for example, maybe if you have a web server, then you need to only allow for example traffic to become from port 80 if it is a web server maybe. So this is to filter traffic, okay, or to specify certain traffic or network traffic to enter the server or to enter the network, depend upon the roles and the servers installed in your environment. Okay, so this is the 4th point. The 5th point is to manage access control for remote assets. Manage access control for assets remotely connecting to enterprise resources. Determine amount of access to enterprise resources based upon updated anti-malware, software installed, configuration compliance with the enterprise secure configuration process, and ensuring the operating system applications are up to date. So he's saying that any PC that is used to access enterprise assets like critical servers or Active Directory or critical server roles, these PCs should be secure. Okay, so for example, we have said that the PAW or the Privileged Access Workstation is a special workstation that is highly secured. So when we use it to connect remotely to the Active Directory, we are in safe. Okay, so we are connecting or the PAW have an antivirus that is up to date. It has an operating system that is up to date. Internet is completely cut from this machine, so there is no internet on this PAW machine. And so this is how we can secure access to different remote assets using a controlled and a secure hosts like the PAW. Okay, so this is the fourth point. So this how we can network monitor, or we have a system for network monitoring and to have a defense. So we are monitoring the network and to defense our network or to protect our network. Okay, so it's two things: to monitor the network and to protect the network. To monitor the network using different systems, to protect the network by accessing network devices in a secure way. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth point is to collect network traffic flow logs. Collect network traffic flow logs or network traffic to review and alert upon network devices. This will be done by the SIEM or the system collecting the logs, and it also will be done by the intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system, or the network intrusion detection system or the network intrusion prevention system. This will be done through the firewall. So the firewall will collect the logs and monitor the logs for the network traffic. Okay, so this is one thing we need to know. Okay, as I said before, in every firewall there is an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, and it will alert you if there is any suspicious activity. So this is point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is point number 6. Point number 7, to deploy an intrusion, just a moment, to deploy an intrusion prevention system. So we have said we have to have a host-based detection system and to have a host-based prevention system, and both can be within the same product. So McAfee has a product that it is an antivirus, an anti-malware, and an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. Okay, we have said the difference between intrusion detection and intrusion prevention, and I will discuss this in details. So we need to have an intrusion or a host-based intrusion prevention system. This will be installed on the host, on the PC. As for the network intrusion prevention system, this will be installed on the firewall, or it will be with the firewall configuration. Most of the firewalls contain these solutions. If you don't have it, you need to install it, or to have a device act as an intrusion prevention system. This will be connected behind the firewall. I will show you a graph that is discussing this issue. Okay, I think the upcoming point, deploy port level access controls. As we said before, we need to limit the traffic to our servers and to our workstations. For example, if we have a web server, then we need only port 80 to be opened for network traffic, because this is the only port that the websites will communicate to, or this is the port that clients will communicate to access your web server. You need to carefully plan what ports should be opened on your network devices or on your servers, and these ports should be opened. Okay, and any unnecessary ports that is not needed should be closed. Okay, deploy port level access control. Port level access control utilize 802.1x or similar network access controls protocols that are certificates and may incorporate user or device authentication. So you can use also certificates to secure accessing your network resources. Okay, so you can, for example, apply a certificate. If you have a web server, you can ask the clients accessing the web server to install a certificate on their PC so they can access the web server. This is done if you need to secure the connection or to secure the clients accessing your web server. So maybe you have an internal web server or you have an intranet web server, and you need to make sure that the clients accessing your intranet web server is known and they are within your company. So you need to make your employee install a certificate on their PC, so when they access the intranet website, they will be accepted to access the internet website. Okay, to have a certificate, to use certificates. Okay, and the upcoming point is to perform application layer filtering, to have a way to filter or to have an application filter. What is an application filter? Something like a web filter. So for example, if a user try to access a website, you can control what websites the user can see through a web filter or through a firewall. So this is what we call application layer filtering. By for example, proxy or application layer firewall or gateway. So he is saying that to monitor the traffic within your network and to control the traffic within your network, you need to have an application layer filtering. This will be done by the firewall, so you can control through the firewall the internet activity, the network activity, okay, especially the internet activity. You can perform this layer filtering through the firewall, okay, by applying web filters or proxies or application layer firewall or gateway. So he's saying here you need to control the network traffic type through devices like the firewall, okay. The last point is to tune security event alerting thresholds. You need to, he's saying, tune security event alerting thresholds monthly or more frequently. You need to, I think, analyze or tune or to see maybe some events are false positive events. For example, these are not real events, they are false alert. So I need to revise and tune your security events alerting thresholds to revise it. I think if you have a system or an automated system, these alerts will be revised automatically. So these are the points to monitor your network and to make a defense to your network. It's focusing on three main points: to have a good intrusion detection system and a good intrusion prevention system, and to have a good SIEM or security information and event management system to collect the logs and alert and analyze the logs for different activities or suspicious activities. Let me show you some things here. Let me see the differences. Let me discuss the differences between what is a host-based intrusion detection system and what is a network-based intrusion detection system. A host-based IDS is a type of, or intrusion detection system is a type of intrusion detection system that monitors both network traffic and devices for suspicious or malicious activity. They are installed locally on endpoints such as computers. You can install a host-based IDS on your computer. After configuring it, the host-based IDS will monitor traffic on your business network and the computer on which it is installed. Basically, it will not analyze the traffic in the network, but it will analyze the traffic accessing the host or accessing the PC. This is the host-based intrusion detection system. What about a network-based intrusion detection system? It exclusively monitors network traffic. It can be classified as either host or network. So an intrusion detection system can be host or can be network. Network live up to their namesake by monitoring network traffic. They don't monitor computers or devices. Instead, network intrusion detection system only monitor network traffic. They will scan data packets while checking them for signs of suspicious or malicious activity. So, an intrusion detection system, it will monitor the traffic on the PC or through the network. Okay, so an intrusion detection system can be a host-based intrusion detection system or can be a network-based intrusion detection system. A host-based intrusion detection system, it will monitor the activity within the PC, or it would monitor the activity or the traffic coming to the PC. This mainly can be an antivirus and an intrusion detection or a host-based intrusion detection system. So McAfee can be both antivirus and intrusion detection system. Network-based intrusion detection system can be the firewall. So the firewall can monitor the traffic. It doesn't monitor the activity on a PC or the packets entering the PC or the network traffic entering the PC. It will monitor the traffic between the devices. Okay, so this is the difference between host-based intrusion detection system and host-based or network-based intrusion detection system. Okay, he's saying here the differences. Okay, both are capable of or intrusion detection. What is the difference between host-based and network-based intrusion detection system? Okay, he's saying that both are capable of identifying cyber threats. With that said, they are two different types of IDS. Network-based, we have said before. Okay, for greater protection, you may want to choose a host-based. Both types can monitor network traffic anyway, network based on that. In conclusion, you should not assume that all IDS are the same. There are host based and there are network based. Host based are designed to monitor network traffic and computers, whereas network based are only designed to monitor network traffic. Okay, there are another things, but anyway, we have said the differences between these two kinds: a host based intrusion detection system and a network based intrusion detection system. Okay, this is again some description. An intrusion detection system is defined as a solution that monitors network events and analyzes them to detect security incident and imminent threats. An intrusion prevention system is defined as a solution that performs intrusion detection and then goes one step ahead and prevents any detected threats. So this is the differences between this and this. Okay, so it takes the other step. Intrusion prevention, it detects the intrusion and prevent it. Okay, so let me show you here a little bit of a graph. So here, where is the intrusion or the network based intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention? Here is the firewall. Here the firewall, it will act as an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. The firewall contains the two roles. If this is not included within the firewall, then it will be installed here. Okay, so this is where it will reside. As for the host based intrusion detection based system and host intrusion prevention system, it will be installed on the PC on the server. So this is think this graph is completely clear, stating what is an intrusion prevention and what is an intrusion detection. Okay, and again here is saying similarities between intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. This is the similarities. Built for modern enterprises, operate using signature database or behavioral models, leverage automation, make compliance hassle-free, enforce business policies effectively. So the two, or the similarities between the two, that they are customized for enterprises, so they can be used in large enterprises with large network activity and large activities on the host or on the PCs. This is built in for modern enterprise. Operate using databases or behavioral models. So to detect suspicious activity, they have a database that contains all of the viruses or all of the malwares. It is in a database, and they check, for example, if there is a virus that's making a certain activity, it will check its database and see if this is the virus, it will block it. So for example, maybe a virus is trying to change the time of the machine, so it will check its database. If there is a virus doing the same activity, then it will see and check if this is it, then it will block it using a signature or using a database signature. Or behavioral models, if a virus, it's not yet discovered, or we don't have a cure for this virus or malware, it will detect for suspicious activity. Okay, in general, if any software trying to change the time of the PC, then it will block it because it's suspicious activity. We have discussed what is a behavioral model before. Leverage automation, this is done automatically. If there is an activity, suspicious activity, these softwares can initiate an automated response. Okay, so this is thing. Then make compliance hassle-free. This will help you to be security compliant within your network. So these devices or these intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems will help you to be security compliant. If you are having an audits or security audits, these systems will help you to pass something like this. Okay, because it helps you to protect your network. Okay, by discovering suspicious activities and blocking them and curing these holes or security holes. Enforce business policy effectively. Through these systems, you can block certain activities. So for example, if you need to block certain ports or to allow certain ports, this can be done using this intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. So it will help you to enforce business policies effectively. Okay, so this is in short. Let me discuss it maybe in more details. Built for modern enterprise or for modern enterprises, the rising prevalences of remote work in dealing with access points, such manual. Okay, all this makes cutting-edge IDS and IPS is a vital part of the cybersecurity systems of any modern organization. These automated security tools allow organizations to respond to attacks swiftly and efficiently. Regular updates also help these systems stay tuned regarding the latest security threats. So it is customized for large enterprises. They automate responses. They are always up to date with the latest signatures, okay, or antiviruses or viruses and malware signatures. Okay, this is built in for modern enterprise. Operate using signature database or behavioral models. Okay, so it's saying signature based intrusion detection and prevention systems are best suited for identifying known cyber threats. These solutions compare network data against a predetermined list of known indicators of a compromise. So this is basically you have certain database or certain activity listed in his database. If this activity is discovered, then this is a virus or this is a threat. Okay, this is signature based intrusion. What about behavioral? This is another thing. If you go to behavioral based intrusion detection system works by detecting anomalies and initiating action in case of unknown or suspicious behavior rather than exclusively searching for known threats. These detections and prevention systems use machine learning to build a normalized point of reference for how the network behaves typically. All network activities is continuously compared against this baseline. These systems do not search for known indicators of compromise. Instead, they work by identifying anomalous behavior. So they don't have certain activity. If it is detected, it will block or it will know that this virus. It is monitoring the activity of the network, or to have a baseline for the normal activity of the network. If this baseline for the normal activity of the network it is not detected, there is an unnormal activity, then it considered it to be a virus. Okay, so sometimes maybe software is trying to change some of the operating system setting in a legal way, but if you are using the behavioral approach, it could be blocked because this system doesn't know this software. It is not accommodated, or it doesn't seen this software in your network working before. Okay, so you need to accommodate or to inform the system using the behavioral approach that this changing of operating system setting, it is legal. Okay, so anyway, so this is also the point number 3. If we go to the point number 4, leverage automation, we have discussed it before. This is an automated process. So if a detection is done, it will take an action. Intrusion detection and prevention systems offer network protection using either hardware-based or software-based. In the former, sensors are strategically placed at key points on the enterprise network to monitor network data. In the later, detection and prevention tools are installed on devices linked to the network to track inbound and outbound data. Once a threat is detected, these solutions automatically raise the alarm based on the configured rules and policies. As for the intrusion prevention, it can initiate further actions without human intervention. So it's leverage automation. Okay, this is what we mean by leverage automation. Make compliance hassle free. Okay, as I said before, you can comply with rules based on or with security recommendations based on these systems. So maybe you are working with the Department of Defense of the United States recommendations to secure a network. These systems will help you to implement these recommendations and to be compliant, security compliant. Okay, so this is one thing. And let me go to the enforce business policies. We have said it before that you can enforce business policies using this software. And so this is the similarities. Okay, and also this is a lot of, or this is the similarities between intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. As for the differences between the intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, here is some slides discussing this issue. I will leave them, so I will leave the whole PDF. I will leave this PowerPoint presentation in a Google Drive link inside Google Drive link in the description of the video, so you can see the differences between the intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems, and the similarities between the intrusion detection systems and the intrusion prevention systems. So again, to control the traffic within your network and to defend your network again, or to defend your network traffic, you need to have three main components: to have intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, and SIEM, or security information and event management systems. Hope this video was fun for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much. But by the way, as I said before, there is a lot of softwares that can act as an intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. Okay, thank you so much.